I mean, I like it. I'm just kind of disappointed. What's up, guys? Pencil here, and here we are to do a breakdown and review of chapter 114 of Four Knights of the which is known as So the Mission Begins. Or no, not So the Mission Begins, The Mission Begins. So, this chapter, you ever been like hyped, emotional, yet disappointed? That's how this chapter makes me feel. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, that's what this chapter makes me feel. But instead of talking in vague niceties, let's hop right into the chapter itself. Ending me. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. As you know for a fact, I have it on me, and I keep it on me at all times. So, let's see. However, before we hop into this, please, if you could, leave a like. And also, if you want the live reaction to this, which I literally just recorded. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I literally just recorded a live reaction. I had a super long day today. Patreon or membership. Click those down below. But let's actually hop into the chapter itself. So this opening page, it kind of gave me false hope. I'm not gonna lie to you. It gave me, not gave me false hope. It gave me a lot of false hope. Like, you get to see all four knights here. You get to see Zaza again, who's just casually chilling here. Not evil. I promise you. A lot of y'all said Zaza wasn't evil in last week's poll. I'm shocked. I don't know. Maybe I'm just paranoid. Maybe I just don't trust clones. Maybe that is literally just a me thing. I just really didn't like Zaza. Well, no, I like Zaza because I like the implications of an evil Percy, or like Percy being more people, or like whatever Zaza's implications are. But a lot of y'all don't think Zaza's evil. Or at least a lot of y'all in the comments of that post were like, he's not evil yet. But still, I don't know. I'm just a little bit more paranoid. But like, you see everyone here. You see Tristan, you see Zaza, you see Percival, you see Lance, but you also see Gawain. So I thought, oh, okay, maybe this is going to be a chapter where we get Gawain back. But then I read the title, The Mission Begins. And wait, for the mission to begin, that means the week must have passed. Are you just going to skip the rest of the training after we ended 113 on like a major cliffhanger of Percy having a rematch with Iron Lance? Yeah, we are. Because as you can see, when we get into the chapter itself, we are seeing the flaming rain. Or realistically, the ash of the unalive. The Behemoth's negative energy is coming. And, pause. Pause, bro. I mean, I get the Behemoth has bad vibes, bro, but you don't need to say it's coming everywhere. Like, chill out, bro. But regardless, we do get to see that the whole demon world is freaking out, because you can see, look, it's so we can hardly see it clearly. Or no, we can see it clearly. So this is it. Once again, I do understand that these demons are regular civilians. They are regular human beings, or demon beings, I suppose. But it's still so strange. After spending the entirety, like legitimately, I'd say demons were the ops, despite our main character being a demon. Demons were the ops for 95%. Like, how much of Cursed by Light do you think counts as, like, I mean, I guess you could say season 1, the demons weren't really the ops, but realistically, the demons were the ops. Like, Fraudrin was the ultimate op, and he was a demon. And then season 2 is all about fighting the King of Mammoths, who, guess what, are demons. And then season 3 is about dealing with the ramifications of Assault Mode Meliodas, who is, guess what, a demon. And then guess what, the Demon King. Like, legitimately, the whole series, or at least all Assembly's Sins, except for Cursed by Light, realistically, and the very end of the series with the Chaos stuff, treats demons as the main ops. So it's so interesting to see the roles reversed. Like, demons who were spreading so much mayhem and chaos and destruction over the mortal realm during the Holy War, now they're running. Now they're afraid. Now the fear of the end is now being forced upon them by this natural disaster that is the Behemoth. And like, I mean, I like that. I like the flip, even though I will admit, I mean, I love Nakaba and his design work, don't get me wrong, but you could definitely tell when he's like in the kitchen whipping it up, you know what I'm saying? Like really getting up there and whipping it up real good. And when he's like, I need to make creatures that are not generic demons, like red, gray, and whatchamacallit. Because, like, look at these things. Like, what is that? What is he? What is this man? He's ugly. Let me be real with you. He's ugly. So is this guy. So is this guy. Well, he looks kind of conventional. But look at this. What is bro supposed to be? A hammerhead shark? That's not a hammer. That's not a hammer. He's some shark variation, a swordfish demon. Like, What are those gills for, bro? You breathe air. You're breathing air right now. Are you aquatic too? Like what is this? However, instead of roasting the demons and talking about how times have changed with the roles being reversed, the important thing is that the demons are like, yo, don't just stand there and gawk. Leave, evacuate, vacate the premises. But, of course, we see this one shark-built demon being like, wait, look over there. And we see all the demons. Once again, they're all so ugly, bro. They're all so ugly. I don't know, maybe just because I have, like, I think the red demon's design is iconic. Like, the red demon, fantastic design. The gray demon, fantastic design. I'm not that big of a fan of the blue demons or the green demons, but like usually, I don't know, demon designs from Naga, but maybe smacking. Look at the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments are all like top tier designs. Even like the laziest one. Well, I guess lazy is wrong to say, because once again, I couldn't do it. I couldn't have a kid with Grey Road. But even like the laziest one in Grey Road is a really, really neat design when you look at the countless gray faces and stuff like that. Like, it's a good design. Then again, I guess Fraudulent's ugly. But he literally has fraud in the name. Like, of course he's gonna be ugly. But like, look at bro. What is he? He's so ugly, bro. However, we do get to see that the flaming rain has stopped, and now the path to the behemoth is clear. So, very interesting. I don't know. I always found it, I didn't mention it in previous reviews, but I do find it strange that the demon clan is like worried about flaming rain. Like a majority of the populace have to, like, I'm not sure how much of the populace is red demons or above, but like a lot of the populace uses a higher level of fire known as purgatory fire. You're telling me not a single one of you is like, you're telling me you guys are like scared of fire rain? Like, I know that sounds crazy, right? Because you're like, pencil. The rain is fire. Of course they're going to be afraid. Yeah, I get that. But you got to realize, like, what does regular rain do to us? We're 60% water. It's annoying, and it can give you hypothermia if you're not careful, but like, regular rain isn't harmful to us because we're mostly made of water, and like, we use water for a bunch of stuff. Same thing for demons. They use fire for a bunch of stuff. They have a stronger variation of fire. Why are they so worried about flaming rain? I guess they aren't too worried about it, but it's interesting that the flaming rain being stopped is like the main thing. Like, oh no, the path to the behemoth is open. Like, dog. Unless it's like a literal tsunami, like unless it's just a straight tsunami or a hurricane or something. Dog, if it's raining a little bit, just go through. I cannot call out of work just because it's raining. No, I gotta go in there. I gotta trudge through the mud and the slip and slide that is the road. So y'all can do this. However, we do get to see that the demons are now getting hyped. Because obviously with the path of the behemoth open, they've been told the truth. I think just last chapter or the chapter before, they were all getting gassed up because they know the big savior Percy's here. Percy's about to get up in the kitchen and get that wrist on whipping. As they say, our savior Percival is going to save the demon world once more. Never lose hope, all of you. So, once again, Percy, this is, I mean, it really depends how permanent do you think hope amps are? Because, like, if you think that, it really depends. Because if you think that Percy has been on a linear upward scale of power growth, like every arc Percy is stronger than the previous arc before, which I think is mostly implied, then you could argue that this hope amp from the demon world is permanent. However, considering this hope is entirely predicated on the fact that they are in a dangerous situation and they need Percy to solve it, and maybe once Percy solves the situation, their hope will, like, I'm not saying go away, but like it'll dissipate a bit. I don't know. I wonder if Percy will be as strong as he is once he leaves the realm. Especially considering, like, does hope transcend the realm boundaries? Because once again, we got to remember, these are all separate spaces. They may run on, except for, I think, I'm not sure about the Capital of the Dead, but we know Purgatory runs on a different time. Like, Purgatory is a completely different time space from the regular mortal realm. But we know the mortal realm, Megadozer, Fairy realm, Goddess realm, and Demon realm, they all run on the same time scale. It's just the only thing that's different is their space coordinates. As in, like, they're literally not within the same space. So I wonder, like, once crossing over into Camelot, who knows, which may have its own time space, you never know. Once crossing over there, I wonder if Percy's going to get a massive debuff. Like, will the hope be universal? Will it spread across boundaries? Is the Leonis hope still factoring in there? Is Percy still as strong as he was there? Is he stronger than that? I don't know. It just seems very interesting with how the whole hope debacle is set up. However, speaking of the hopes of the demon world, we do get to see a certain group that is the hope of the demon world personified. It is a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait a second. 9? I know we had 12 when we started, but then Jade got... And we know Gawain is still missing, I guess, because certain characters didn't do the smart thing. But who could be missing here from this iconic group shot? This could go crazy. Look at Tristan standing to the back. I wonder what's happening with him. This just warms my little heart. Look at it. Look at. I love it. I want to print this. I want to put this on my wall. I want to put it right back there. Right there, that empty space, I want to put it there. And again, I also want to hang like ultimate weapon there. But I want to put that on my wall. Zelda's hugging Percy, like, I don't know. That like notably, my favorite thing. I bring this up every once in a while. I don't say it every review. I used to say it almost starting every review. But my favorite thing about Fortnite and Seven Deadly Sins in general, that I feel like it's not impossible to get out of other modern manga, but I think it's rare to see. I love the character dynamics of Seven Deadly Sins and Four Knights. Those are my favorite things. These two, except like the only other one that I feel like has nearly the same amount of fleshed out character dynamics, if not maybe even slightly, but then again, that's different. Character dynamics versus character balance is two different things. But in terms of character dynamics, the only thing that really comes close for me is like JJK, and even then, not entirely to the same level of Seven Deadly Sins / Four Knights, and Blue Lock. Blue Lock has really good character dynamics. Like I can't even really knock Blue Lock at all. Blue Lock is really, really good. Like honestly, I can't say it's my favorites though. That's just because I'm biased. Like if I were to look at things objectively, I think I may have to put Blue Lock above a lot of manga that I actually like more than Blue Lock. But with that being the case, man, it's so nice seeing Percy and Zeldris like this. I mean, obviously we didn't get to spend much time with Zeldris. Like what, we got 3 chapters with him? 4, maybe. But seeing him at all and seeing him have this sort of bond with Percy, it's nice. And it, like, reaches into my core, bro. Like, I don't know. Seeing Zeldris happy makes me happy. Because like, I need to do a Zeldris character analysis, because, bro, one of the, like, not the most tragic character in the series. I'd argue he's Mael, Meliodas, Elizabeth. Were they conscious in the Coffin of Eternal Darkness? I don't think so. Juan. I don't know, not really King. Gother. Yeah, I'd say he's probably just barely scraping into the top 10 of most tragic Seven Deadly Sins / Four Knights characters. But like, even still, that boy has been through so much. And negativity has been such a massive part of his life, forced upon him by his father, that seeing him genuinely happy, being in a place of power where he can be the kind, sweet, gentle-hearted boy that he always wanted to be, and see that reflected in someone younger than him, and being able to openly express that because he's not under the whim of his father. He's not owing to his beck and call. No, he's his own man now, ruling his world. It touches a special place in my heart. Once again, I feel like I do agree. Someone put it very, very well in the comment section. You really don't need to read Seven Deadly Sins. You don't need, like, there's nothing specific. You could hand Four Knights Volume 1 to anybody on the street and they can read it and it would be fine. But I think, once again, you are missing something. Like, how do I put this? Like, it's playing Kingdom Hearts 2 before playing Kingdom Hearts 1, right? Like, by pure technicality, you can play Kingdom Hearts 2 just fine. Like, not, like, there's some things that you won't get, especially with, like, Chain of Memories and stuff like that, but, like, Kingdom Hearts 1 is not that complicated of a game. Just like Seven Deadly Sins isn't that complicated of a story. There are not too many things that you really need from KH1 to hop into KH2 and have a good time. That's how I feel about Four Knights. Where, yes, technically you don't need any of KH1 or Seven Deadly Sins to read or play Cage 2 or Four Knights, I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't read Seven Deadly Sins before hopping into Four Knights. Not only do certain things in both mediums, both Cage 2 as a game and Four Knights as a manga, seem specifically tailored to, like, tickle that special fan service bone. That sounds so wrong. But tickle that special little... appeal to the fans of the previous series. Like, there are certain chapter ends and, like, chapter moments or even lines and stuff like that within Four Knights and in Cage 2 that specifically appeal to those who have experience with the previous product. But even with the independent ability to play both or read both, I still say you want to read Seven Deadly Sins first. That's why this moment, like, it brought darn near a tear to my eye in the reaction. Like, it was earlier in the day. My heart wasn't shrunk 3 sizes already. It wasn't built like the Grinch. Then maybe it would have brought a tear to my eye in the reaction. But I came close. But with that being the case, we do get to see Zeldris is hugging Percival, taking care of his little boy. And we see that Zeldris was also just barely taller than Percival, which is hilarious. He says, well, Percival, I suppose we're counting on you a second time. I don't know what I can really do, but I'll try. And we see that's not just Zell that goes to hug it, Percival. Also Mama Gelda, who says, you are always welcome back here, my bouncing baby boy. The feels. The feels. See, the feels alone make it worthy. You saw I immediately draw the blade? That's just out of instinct. Because that alone, like, made the chapter worthy. However, well, you know what? I'll read the last panel before I really get into the discussion why I am still slightly disappointed by this chapter. Zelda says, you are the savior of our world, but also you are every bit like a son to us. Aw, isn't that fantastic? Look at Zeldris and Golda talking about their son. Their son. It's been 16 years, hasn't it? Huh. King and Diana had kids. Bond and Elaine had kids. Mel and Elizabeth had kids. Hey, yo, Zell! Gelda, where are your children? Like, where are your actual children? Are we just... do they just not exist? Because here's the thing, right? I could low-key justify not giving Zeldris and Gelda kids from, like... because I was so stupid. A power scaling standpoint. Because, like, they suck. Like, I made a whole video called Demons Kind of Suck. Because they do. Like, their biology's kind of awful. Like, legitimately, they kind of suck. But I know Nakaba doesn't purely think like that. That's why characters like Kion and Donnie and Nassians are still in the narrative. If it was all about power scaling, then Nakaba wouldn't do a lot of things. So, like, why do they not have kids? How come? Like, here's the thing. I sort of mentally justified it as, like, oh, well, maybe they don't have kids because, like, 16 years relative to their lifespans may have been a blink. Maybe they do want to just they had to spend thousands upon thousands of years apart. So maybe this is a time where they just want to live to themselves for a while. Not have to worry about a new life or anything like that. Take care of that. But the thing is, like, King and Diane got to work immediately. Like, I get Mel and Elizabeth getting on it and getting down and dirty real quick. They've been waiting 3,000 years for that. The whole story was about them finally being able to get it down and dirty and make a Tristan. That I get. And also, Elizabeth has a human lifespan, so they don't have the luxury. 16 years on Elizabeth's lifespan leaves her. Technically, she's lucky to be alive. If we're going by true medieval time standards, she's lucky to be alive at 32. But being serious, she probably, based on her father, she probably has like another 50, 60 years of her being super duper lucky. Like, how old is Bartra? I don't think he's 100 yet. I do have the Googler on me, so I'll be double checking. But, like, with that being the case, I do legitimately think that it makes sense for Mel and Elizabeth to have gotten down and dirty real quick. But, and even then, another case of where I get it, why they got down and dirty real fast, is Bond. Because we still don't know. Okay, I have the answer. We still don't know why. I think Elizabeth's dad or father is 77 right now. But he's looking the way he's looking at 77. Elizabeth probably ain't making it to 90. But with that being the case, I even get why Bond and Elaine got. Because presumably if Bond has a regular human lifespan now, which for all intents and purposes he should, he no longer has the Fountain of Youth, he ain't got that much time left. Elaine's going to blink and Bond's going to be gone. Remember, Gerhardt is literally looks exactly the same physiologically 3,000 years later. Elaine likely has at bare minimum half that lifespan. Bond's not going to be anything more than a footnote in Elaine's lifespan in terms of just longevity's sake. I get why they got down and dirty quick. But King and Diane should also have relative lifespans to Gelda and Zeldris. They had twins. They wasted no time either. So, like, I'm a little bit disappointed that Zell doesn't have kids. Like, I don't know. That's one of my, at least for me, right? If you're writing a sequel series, seeing characters from the previous series become parents, if there's enough of a time skip between, like, notably, I mean, Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, like, the Naruto manga is continuous, but specifically for the anime, right? Like, I get why we didn't come back and Naruto had a kid, but can you imagine if by, like, the time of Boruto Naruto Next Generation, it was just Naruto Next Generations, but Naruto didn't have a kid? Like, it just feels weird that Zeldris and Gelda don't have a kid. I would really like to see them and see, like, Papa Zeldris, Mama Gelda, not just the Percival. Like, and I get it. I bet that's probably, like, the meta-narrative reason why Zeldris and Gelda do not have a child. Like, well, obviously Nakaba wants to fit in the allegory as Percival being their surrogate child. And thusly, if they actually had kids, then that would, like, throw that off, because Zeldris would have his love and attention split somewhere else. But I think you could do both. Either just make the kids younger than Percy so they look up to him, or make them the same age and let them have, like, a brotherly bond, or even a little bit of a rivalry. Like, you could make it cook a little bit more, rather than just having, oh yeah, Zeldris didn't have kids. Neither did Gelda. They just didn't do it. 16 years passed and nothing. I get it. Zeldris, if he only lives to 1,000, 16 years is only like 1.6 years. But still, I still think I would have greatly appreciated a little bit more of, like, genuine biological children from Zelda. I keep saying Zelda. From Zeldris and Gelda, unfortunately. I guess that is their ship name. Their ship name literally is Zelda. I wonder if people actually use that, or if there's, like, another name. Zeldris? No. Geldris? I guess maybe that's what people would say to avoid Zelda, but, like, Zelda actually kind of works. But I don't know. That's kind of the disappointment for me. Nothing here that shows that Zeldris had kids. Kind of saddening to me. However, another thing that kind of has me a little bit nettled. Look who's here. Who didn't even get an emotional good? Who didn't even say a word to each other in this chapter? Yeah, Mr. I'm facing away looking all emo over here. Dog, that's your uncle. Like, I don't know. Like, at least the way I grew up, I love my uncles. I love every last one of them. Every last one of them. And I got a bunch of uncles. That guy with the pencil has a very large family, fun fact. But I love them all. I love them. And if I was going, hypothetically, like, shoot, maybe just because of how I work, even if I'm not going on a life-threatening adventure, I'm going to hug my uncle, say goodbye to him, then at least say a word to him. Like, Tristan, that's your uncle, bro. You're telling me you ain't even going to say goodbye? You're going to let Percy hog up all the spotlight? Like, that's another thing I was really excited to see cross-series. Since we know, even if you're going to deprive me, Nakaba, if you're going to deprive me of Zeldris and Gelda just not having children for whatever reason, then at least let me see some wholesome Tristan interactions. Like, I'm pretty sure Zeldris would be super duper happy to have a nephew, but I guess not. They seemingly have no interactions. And another thing, these 7 days have passed, and sure, it could be revealed in a flashback that Tristan and Zell train, but it seems like they didn't. So you're telling me you had this perfect opportunity to train Tristan's dark side ability with the literal king of all demons, and we just don't get to see it? Or it doesn't even happen? Like, that doesn't even cross either of their minds? I swear I can English. But that doesn't even cross either of their minds? Like, you're telling me not a single thought for a single second the idea of, oh, maybe we should have Tristan get that demon mark power under control before he head into Camelot, and he ends up being a liability. You had a whole week to do that, and that seemingly didn't happen? Like, bro, what? And speaking of another thing that's not happening, because this is the last time we see Zeldris in the chapter. Fun fact, we do not see Zeldris for the rest of the chapter. Zeldris doesn't even get a fight. He doesn't do it. Well, realistically, he doesn't do much of anything. He's kind of just an exposition machine. Because, think about it. Every other major legacy character, not even major ones, like, no offense to Hauser, but like every single legacy character has had a moment in combat. Some of these moments vary in quality, a lot, don't get me wrong, but they've had a combat moment. Seven Deadly Sins and Four Knights, at their cores, are still fighting manga. Like, that is just how they are. Think back to Hauser. Hauser had his moment where he flexed against the dragon. Really, really cool. For Gother had his moment where he flexed against the Dark Talismans and on Ardbeg. Really, really cool. For Meliodas, he literally fought Chaos King Arthur. Really, really cool. For... I mean, the rest of the Seven Deadly Sins, when they get mentioned, they were about to jump Arthur. Really, really cool. And now you just have Zeldris, who just stood around and talked, I guess. Like, we couldn't even get to see him fight a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Not, like, give him some fodder or something, please, bro. Like, the fact that Zeldris doesn't get a fight here, and I'm assuming one way or another that we're probably winding down to the... well, winding up, but going towards the end of the Demon Lord arc. I don't think we're going to see Zeldris for a while. If ever again. Like, legitimately. I'm not sure what reason they have to come back to the Demon World, especially if Percival fixes the problems on the way out. So, really? That's the maximum inclusion that Zeldris gets in the story? Like, I get it. He's not a major character. He's not a named character, but he's the protagonist of the previous series' younger brother. And the other protagonist of the previous series' brother-in-law. And you're telling me Hauser got better billing than him? Jericho got better billing than him? Shoot. Gila got better billing than him? Like, at least Gila got a new form. And I guess, sure, we get to see Zeldris with, like, his assault mode and stuff like that. But, like, I would like to see him actually use it on somebody. Not just stand around and lore dump. I don't know. That's, once again, it's like... I like on the surface what this chapter is implying. I like Zeldris and Gelda viewing Percival as a son, the wholesome moments, all that implies. But I also don't like the implications or just like what feels like big missing things. Like a lacking Zeldris fight, lacking interactions between Tristan and Zeldris, lacking any sort of, like these are like complaints that just pile up in my head and I can't ignore them. Like, that's the thing, these come to the forefront. These are the things I'll admit I kind of come to Four Knights for. Obviously I'm as much invested in the original and new stuff in Four Knights as I am in the old stuff. I didn't get any like quality old stuff for Four Knights since, like, in terms of when the series began, for like months, if not a whole year, before I got like real Seven Deadly Sins tie-in stuff. So, like, obviously I'm here for that. But if you're gonna make a sequel series, and you're gonna bring back a character as important, once again, the younger brother of your MC and the brother-in-law to your other MC, at least do something a little bit cool with him. Don't just have him be an info dumper, bro. That kind of hurts. Especially, and I guess maybe this is me being extra salty because I'm a Zeldris fan. Like, Zeldris is probably top 10 characters in the entire series for me. In terms of just, like, sheer character. Power-wise, no. But, like, in terms of sheer character, yeah, Zeldris is definitely up there for me. So it just kind of hurts. It really hurts me to be like, or at least just to witness it. No kids, no bonding with his nephew, no genuine kids, like, or no fights. Like, I don't know, this kind of hurts. It hurts a lot coming from a Zeldris fan. But, hey, got to keep the plot pushing forward, so I guess there's not much we can do. And we see that Lance calls Percy to move, and they get on going. And we see the demon world and its people are like, yeah, baby. Yeah, get it on, get it on, get it on. May Percival and the 4 knights of the Ababalaba and all their companions be blessed with fortune. Yeah, good luck to all of you. So, I don't know. I just find that, once again, it's kind of like the word Nephilim being thrown around. Like, hearing demons say blessed feels wrong. Like, I know they're technically blessed with the 10 Commandments, but, like, it feels wrong hearing common demon folk being like, be blessed. Like, what if one of them accidentally casted a heal spell? But, with that being the case, we get to see, honestly, probably my favorite part of the chapter. Like, I know this sounds super weird, considering, like, good fatherhood vibes. Mr. Good Fatherhood vibes over here. But, like, the main thing that got me excited, the main thing that got me hyped, is not this, because it came with a whole bunch of, like, negative thought processes that instantly followed when I saw this. But, dog, look at how thick that boy is. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't just have 1. I don't just have 2. I don't just have 3. I don't just have 4. I don't just have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I have 11 C's on how thick that boy is. Golly gee willikers, my boy. Look at how thick he is. Look at how thick he is. Look at how chunky he is. Look at my big old boy. My big old boy. He's groaning. That big old gut of his. Look at my boy. The big, beefy boy. The Albion has returned. Nagaba, man out for my heart. Once again, this is only something that applies to me. Like, this is even, like, more specific. I'm not even gonna say, like, oh, if you don't get this, if you read Seven Deadly Sins. But, like, Albions were not a major part of the Seven Deadly Sins narrative. They appeared, like, what? Twice. Like, technically 3 times. You had the fat Albion, my thicky boy that appeared in Camelot. Then you had the sticky boy that appeared in the Fairy King's Forest. Then you had, like, some Albions in the Holy Knights versus the Demons fight, I think. Even then, they got torn apart. So, like, Albions are never and never will be that important. But I don't know. There's some. This is one of my favorite designs of Nakaba. That's not like an actual humanoid. Well, I mean, I guess technically is a humanoid in the sense that it has 4 limbs and a head. But, like, out of the monster designs that Nakaba does, despite it being so simple, it literally is just circle, arm, circle. It's like a knockoff Baymax, essentially. Though I think, do Albions predate Baymax? When did Big Hero 6 come out? I'm getting old. So, like, when someone said, oh yeah, Infinity War came out 5 years ago, I was like, 5 years ago? 5? It's been that long? I still remember seeing Infinity War in theaters. Has it really been that long? But hold on. When did Big Hero... Oh, 2014. 2014. And when did Seven Deadly Sins start? Because I know... No. Not Students for a Democratic Party. When did Seven... I'm sorry. I'm trying to type as fast as I can on the Googler. But... manga start. Yeah. Oh, October 2012. The Albions debut in 107. I do think Baymax predates the Albion. But essentially, I really like this chunky boy. It's one of my favorite designs that Naga has ever done. I think they're super duper neat. I love walking mountain golems. I think the implications of the demons being able to move and utilize earth magic is really, really neat. I just love them. I don't know. Something about the thickness. As a fellow thick boy myself, maybe I just identify with them. Like, because notably, I'm not the biggest fan of the sticky Albions. Like, the thin boys, I don't know. Maybe because I feel insulted, I'm not a big fan of them. I'm just really not. Like, King, I'm glad King one-shot you. I'm glad, I think Hauser or Gila somehow fodderized you years upon years later. But something about the thicky boy. I just love you a good thicky boy. Like, not like that. Not like that. Do not quote that. Whatever you do not quote that. I like my Albions thick. Is that bad? Does Albion mean anything else? I didn't say albino. Albion. I don't think that doesn't mean anything else. I like my Albions thick. Maybe I should double check that. Albion definition. A poetic or literary term for Britain or England, also often used to refer. I like my ancient poetic term to refer to Britain, thick. So there we go. I love seeing the thicky boy back, and we do get to see that they're all hyped up because obviously Sir Thick, it's moving and grooving, all nice, big and beefy, and we see that. I think this could be inferred. This is definitely like Nakaba talking through Nasians being like, we were given this as a transport. It's a long way to the Behemoth's back. Yes. Thank you, Nasians. Thank you, Nakaba. I'm pretty sure a baby could have inferred that. But with that being the case, we see the Donners being like, dude, do you see how thick this thing is? You ain't got a shot with it? Do you think I can lift it up? You want to know the unspeakable things I do to this hunk of metal and earth? But no, you get to see that Percy's like, what was his name again? Alin, Al Taylor, Alboing, Alboing. Like, what is it? See, I would clown on Percy, but I'm also horrible with names. I'm genuinely terrible with names, so I can't even clown on Percy. Under multiple circumstances other than this, I would clown on Percy, but like, nah. Not this. You get away this time, Percy. You get away this time. I won't cook you right now this time. You got me this time. But with that being the case, we do get to see that Lancelot's like, I swear I am dealing and surrounded with by idiots. But we do get to see he's like, it's an Albion, a giant golem using the Holy War. I had no idea we could climb inside and control it here. So, once again, this is mainly to catch you up to speed. Like, if you do not read Seven Deadly Sins, you have no idea what this is. You probably got super duper confused, in fact. Like, going from the wholesome Zell Percival hug scene to, oh, Lord, it's a thick boy. Oh, Lord, he coming. Like, maybe that's what... Well, not maybe. That is what that's for. Because sure, if you're a Seven Deadly Sins fan, you likely recognize the Albion. They're pretty iconic, I think. Like, don't they have their own, like, card or whatever in Grand Cross? I don't play gacha games. I'm sorry. I'm already broke enough as it is. And I know I would lose all my money to a gacha game. But I like the Albion. I really do. And I do like how Lance knows what it is, not just because whatever Zeldris told them, but also because, bro does know. Remember, he has the series downloaded into 1080p HD in his head. He got a better anime adaptation of Seven Deadly Sins than we ever could. It was likely from the first person, but he's seen an Albion before. He knows what it looks like. So I think it's neat. I think it's very, very neat that he's in this kind of this particular scenario. But with that being the case, we see that your boy needs to take a sip. Are you still viable? You are not still viable. Are you still viable? Yes. I feel it. The power, it's flowing through me. Drink water. Do not drink what I drink. I'm just gonna burn those because I was doing a bulk recording session late one night. I was like, I need the energy. But with that being the case, it is neat to see that Lance, after seeing it through the memories of what Gother gave him, he's actually allowed to drive one. That's really, really neat. I like that. I like that a lot. However, with that being the case, we see that Don has realized that, wait, why are you the one piloting it? And we see Percival being like, yeah, Lance, give me the controls, Lancelot. I need the controls, Lancelot, please. And we see that Lance is like, wait your turn. Let me handle it first. Let me drive the boat. Let me drive the Albion. And with that being the case, we see that Nasians is like, wow, oh, you are certainly having a good old time to yourselves. And we see that I'm assuming this could be Nasians. I think this is Nasians. This is what the next bubble is. But he's like, but didn't they tell us that we could automatically set it to go to our destination? Probably. And we do get to see that. Apparently Lance says this. Come on, Nasians. Where's your sense of adventure? You sure you're a man? Nakaba. No. Nakaba. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, Nakaba. You need to stop playing these games, Nakaba. I'm getting sick and tired of it, Nakaba. You better stop playing these games. Don't mess with me, Nakaba. Don't mess with me. Don't make jokes about it. That doesn't even seem like an in-character joke for Lance to make. I'll even be real. It doesn't even seem in character for Lance. But maybe he's lost in the thicky Albion sauce. So I'll give Lance a pass on this one. But Nakaba, there's foreshadowing. And then they're slamming me over that. Hold on, Nakaba. Hold on, Nakaba. Hold on, Nakaba. Hold on, Nakaba. Nakaba. Don't play these games. Oh, you sure you're a man? Nakaba. Nakaba. Dog. Level with me, Nakaba. Nakaba. You're doing this on purpose, bro. You've got to be doing this on purpose. This has to be mind games by Nakaba. There's no way. There's no way. Like, I feel like I mentioned it darn near every other chapter at this point. But like, remember, it's an ongoing. I wouldn't say love triangle because Percy doesn't even know what's going on, but it is an ongoing affair. That sounds even worse. It's an ongoing affair between who loves Percival, who's gonna get with Percival, and one of the biggest things in Nasian's way is that presumably Percival sees him as a brother. But if Nasian's happens to not be a brother and be a sister, who knows? Percy may just end up as his or hers mister. But Nakaba, he's toying with us. He's trying to get in our heads. I don't know, Nakaba. Especially considering Lance would know. Like, if any character, out of all the characters who could have made that joke, when I first read it, I thought it was Donnie. Because, one, it doesn't seem like a joke that Lance would make. And two, he would know. Like, he would, because he can read hearts. I'm assuming if Nasians were hiding that, then the truth would be at least revealed to Lancelot. Maybe he's just poking at it to see if he can get, maybe he's poking at it to see if Nasians will admit it, but he doesn't want to, like, straight up out Nasians or something like that. I don't know. It just feels weird that he would make a comment that specific. Like, where's your sense of adventure? You sure you're a man? Like, dog. You would know. However, with that being the case, we see that as they begin arguing, Anne is quite annoyed. It's like, these bona fide, licensed, and registered idiots. Oh, fine, whatever. Look, enough bickering. You guys realize that Gawain still hasn't come back, don't you? And Isolde follows up with, were we okay not looking for it before leaving? And yeah! Another reason why I feel like, I don't know. Sometimes, like, I don't like to chalk everything up to plot-induced stupidity. But, like, you're telling me that Lancelot, the war, I'd say pseudo-leader of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse posse, you're telling me that Lance would let a whole week go by without searching for Gawain? Really? I get Percy not doing it, specifically because he was tasked with fighting Lance. I get Donnie not doing it. Donnie probably forgot Gawain. I highly doubt Donnie actually has object permanence. Like, you know how babies, where if you, like, cover their eyes or you remove something from them, they start to freak out because they think it's wiped from existence because they have no idea that things can be still existing after they're removed from your perception? Like, I feel like Donnie doesn't even have that. Like, he does not have the common ability to understand that. So Gawain probably left his mind the moment Gawain left his general vision. Nasian's a little bit less, but once again, Nasian's doesn't know Gawain that well. And thusly, I could see Nasian's letting it slide. Because once again, if Percival doesn't mention it, Nasian's probably doesn't care. But, and you know, I even get Kion too. Kion likely not caring to go look for Gawain. Kion hates everybody. If your name is not Tristan, Kion likely doesn't like you. And if your name is Isolde, he's likely neutral to you. So obviously, I even get that. But you're telling me Lance nor Tristan got it through the thick skulls to be like, wait a minute. One day, all right, we'll let it slide. 2 days, kind of pushing it. You're telling me you let a whole week go by without looking for her? Like, you do realize she's one of the four knights, one of the people you need to beat Arthur, according to the prophecy. And you're just going to let her wander, like, especially considering in the limited time they've spent together, she's never done this. Like, it'd be one thing if the moment Gawain was introduced, she would, like, just disappear. Like, just every single time, she'd just be like, all right, bye, and then just leaves. But like, no, this is the first time she's done this. You clearly couldn't censor. You haven't gotten any sort of information. So like, you're telling me none of you were at least a little bit maybe I expect Lance to be smarter than this, because he literally is. Like, we literally see that Lance is by bare instinct super doting. Like, he is a protector by nature. Even in his one shot, you see he protects the Fairy King's forest, despite that not necessarily being his job. That's his dad's job. He was like, what, 10 in that one shot, or 11? But he was still protecting this Fairy King's forest super duper seriously. So, like, the fact that he's letting, not just, like, here's the thing. Maybe, well, you could say, oh, well, Pencil, Fairy King's forest is his home. The Percival Platoon was his friends. That's why he was so fiercely loyal and protective of them. Right. But Lancelot, you already have made this mistake before, where you walked away from an asset, and that asset immediately went to Camelot and was lost forever. AKA the Guinevere situation from about, like, 40 chapters back at this point. Not 40. Only on 114. Maybe, like, 30. But, like, we've done this. We've done this little song and dance, Lance. So I think you should know better at this point to let women with the names that start with G, wander off on their own for extended periods of time. To be fair, he, like, blinked and Guinevere was gone, so I'll give him that. But a whole week? Like, it'd be one thing if they had, like, 7 hours to train before having to head to the Behemoth. But you're telling me a whole week you didn't go look? Once again, it kind of, at least to me, it feels like plot-induced stupidity. Like, it feels like something that Lance nor Tristan would do in character, but they're doing it because the plot demands it. Like, and that's the thing, that's the worst kind of writing, in my opinion, where you can see, you as the reader can feel the author reaching into the plot and, like, turning characters' brains off. Because that is just a stupid decision. Like, there's no justifying it. Like, I'll go on further once we get a little bit more to the chapter, because they try to justify it. But I'll tell you why it's not unjustifiable. But we do get to see that Kion, ever the Debbie Downer, is like, why bother? She's long gone anyway. Kion, you know who is long gone? Jade. Jade's long gone. That's who's long gone. Jade. Jade is. Guess what? You didn't even make his funeral, Kion. That's how long gone he is. You homie? Gone. For long. That's right. Shut up, Kion. I'm sorry. But we do get to see that Kion just starts, like... Kion really turns into... I know Matt Pat has game theory and film theory. Does he have manga theory? Do anime and manga fall under film theory? I don't know. But we do get to see that Kion turns into a full-on manga theorist. He's like, maybe one of the world's vicious beasts ate her. Maybe one of the human-hating demons did her in. Or maybe this world's miasma suffocated her. The effects of Prince Tristan's saintly coat faded long ago. Okay. So Kion. Number one, need I remind you, the same vein that I like... Like, remember when Kyle was first introduced and I was super convinced he was a traitor? Like, dog, these people are destined to save the world. Why do you want them gone? Like, what reason do you want them gone? For one. Two, going through the specific reasons. One of the world's vicious beasts ate her. How? She can literally teleport. Kion, you know this. Maybe one of the human-hating demons did her in. Kion, I once again ask you, how? She's literally commandment level. At a bare minimum, she's commandment level. And we know there are not. Commandment level is a rarity. It is far from the rule. Number three, this world miasma suffocated her. Once again, she can teleport. If none of these issues could be solved by teleportation, when realistically all three of these can, you should know something is wrong. But with that being the case, Kion is admitting something's wrong, and Anne asks, how could you do that? How could you talk that way about a friend? And Anne, he's not your friend. I barely think he's Isolde's friend, or was Jade's friend. Like, Kion, that man is a man of few friends. I don't even think Tristan's his friend. I think Tristan is like his boss. But with that being the case, Anne, don't be so surprised. Don't be so surprised that Kion is a meanie stupid head. Like, dog. I'm sorry, y'all. Super duper long day. But with that being the case, Kion, it really says something that I believe in. Like, or not believe in, I just do it naturally. Here's the thing. Kion is an active hater. I am a passive hater. I immediately assume the worst. As Kion says, we always need to consider the worst case scenario as we act. And low-key, do y'all do that too? Like, at least for me, I do it. Like, my brain will it'll never leap to, like, the simplest or most logical conclusion for why something is the way it is. It will always leap to the most insane, backwards, inane conclusion. Like, if someone doesn't pick up the phone, I am shaking and crying a river of tears. Oh no, they're in mortal danger. No, their life, it's forfeit. No, please, not my friend. And then they'll like call me back not 2 seconds later and be like, dude, I was on the toilet and I missed your call because I left my phone charging in my room. Chill out. Like, that's how my brain works. I don't actively think about negativity, but like, I do kind of have like a pessimistic auto reaction. I don't know. I do kind of understand what kind of means by that. However, with that being the case, I'm sorry, y'all, it's super hot in my room. But with that being the case, we see Lance being like, oh, well, if you want to talk about worst case scenarios, she could have just turned traitor. Like, being completely real, y'all, we know the agents of Camelot are active here, and she's related to Arthur by blood. Like, it's not all too surprising. And technically she isn't, like, unless, once again, we know that, I still need to go back and cover that Gawain chapter, but we know that Gawain is something of an experiment rather than an actual child. So maybe she actually is related to Arthur by blood, but actually, if you just go with the idea that her father is genuinely the king of whatever kingdom, I forget, Cameliard? Is that Guinevere's kingdom? I forget. Whoever her father is, it's Arthur's stepbrother. It's not actually his brother. So, like, no, they aren't related by blood. They're related by status, I suppose. Like, I don't know. I don't think they really aren't related at all. But with it being the case, we do get to see that kind of like, hey, buddy, that's the first thing you actually said. I agree. Let's be negative together. And no, I would rather not speak to you. But we do get to see that Noxian is like, hold on. Is there an X? I can't find an X. But like, Noxian presses X to doubt. He's like, do you really think that? And Lance is like, no, not really. And Khan's like, oh, never mind, I still hate you. And we see Lance goes on to explain, I mean, there's an endless list of things that we could worry about, but our mission here couldn't be simpler. Just find the door, storm Camelot, and take out everybody in our way. Lance. Actually, no, I'll talk about it in a second. Let's keep going. And Gawain, too, is a knight of prophecy. She'll be back with us, I promise you. Dog, you should have just gone and found her. Like, why would you do this? Why would you wait? You had a whole week to burn. Go hunt her down. She's one of the 4 knights. You shouldn't just be like, oh, I believe she'll come back. No, bro, you should have just went and got her. She's one of your most powerful assets, if not just by raw power, diversity of abilities. Even for the abilities that she's shown in front of Lancelot. Absolute cancel is cracked. Teleportation is cracked. Shoot, weapon summoning, everything, all that good stuff is cracked. Why do you not want that with you? And of course, she's shown even more abilities that I still need to cover. But we do get to see that Khan's like, if only things ever went that easy. And we see that Percival says, no, I'm sure we can do this. That's why we spent the last week training so hard, too. And we see Anne being like, oh, so did you complete your training? And Percy's like, oh, nah, there was no way. My opponents were so tough. Dog! So here's the thing, right? Once again, character-induced stupidity. This is how I feel about it. Dog. Bro. Lance, I want you to realize, when you say just find the door, storm Camelot, and take everybody in our way, without Gawain, your resources are Tristan, who doesn't have full control over his powers and seemingly did not spend the last week getting any better control over them, meaning he's just a liability for the most part. You may have to one-shot him if worse came to worse. Percival, who I guess if he didn't beat Ironside, the memories of Ironside that Lance was emulating, then it's highly likely that he isn't even beyond a suppressed Ironside level, not to talk of full power Ironside or even full power Pelgard. So that's another big issue. And then on top of that, you have Arthur, who could just run through and smack every last one of you, except for you, Lance, but then everyone else is too fodder. Like, the fact that he really believes that they can just run inside of Camelot and cause havoc is crazy to me, when he knows they're still all fodder, and he knows that they failed their training. Even Donnie admits that he didn't even do it that well, or wasn't able to complete his goals. So, you're telling me you're just going to storm into Camelot? You're going to get mollywopped. You're going to get body bagged if you try to storm into Camelot right now. So I hope something goes wrong, because if they pull up to Camelot, they're just going to get mopped without the mop. Like, legitimately, this is devious and dangerous, how unnatural this feels for Lancelot. Like, once again, Lancelot is a strategist. He's a planner. He knows the upper limits of his crew's abilities. You literally see that when he's fighting another group of Chaos Knights known as the Dark Talismans. He specifically builds the matchups and builds how they fight because he knows the upper limits of their strength. Does he really think this ragamuffin group, missing one of the 4 knights, is going to be capable of running shop through their home base? Y'all just lost one of your own to a solo Chaos Knight. Imagine pulling up in their home territory. Like, dog, what? I don't know, Lance. This seems a little bit stupid. Once again, it feels like we're just pushing the plot forward. We're pressing on the gas because we need to do it, and hopefully if we press on the gas enough, we can speed by, just scurry by quick enough that no one will notice what actually ended up happening. Or the fact that this doesn't make sense for Lance in character. That's the main thing. This feels super duper weird. 2 back-to-back out of character Lance things. Not finding Gawain and having faith that this crew can actually do anything to Camelot. However, with that being the case, we see that Percival has faith in Gawain. And worst comes to worst, if the enemy did catch her, they'll just have her back. Or get her back. Why didn't you use the week to do that? You had a whole week. Yo, I'm sorry. I still don't get why you didn't just use the week. However, with it being the case, you see Khan being like, they call that wishful thinking, you know? You think it'll all work out like some sort of storybook tale? Kion, have I got a story for you. It's called 7 Deadly Sins. And maybe an even better sequel story, 4 Nights of the Apocalypse. However, with that being the case, we see finally, after what feels like 10,000 years, a certain someone says, Kion, can you stop this, please? And we see that Kion's like, wait, but, so Tristan, no, please don't take me off your meat. And we see that Tristan's like, hey, no matter how this turns out, we're committed to doing this. This is what fate has in store for us all. Yes, but also Tristan, dog, why didn't you train with your uncle, bro? Maybe it's going to be, once again, I could be entirely wrong. Maybe we're going to get a flashback and see him training. But, like, dog, I really wish we could have seen that. I really wish we could have seen the interactions, bro. Like, it's too late now, though. It's too late. There's no way they're coming back here. And Zelda is kicked out of the narrative. That hurts so much. But we see Lance does care about his brother from another mother. And then we see that the miasma up ahead is getting giga thick. And with that being the case, the ash, or what was referred to as the unalive, is floating around in the air. Or it's so thick, the miasma is so thick that it is basically ashes floating in the air. But we do get to see that suddenly, as things are going on, it looks like there's a burst of energy around the top of the Albion, keeping it protected from the miasma. And we see a certain crew riding on the back of a I have no idea what this is. Like, I almost wanted to say axolotl, but like that's not axolotl. That is not. Long story short, axolotl. That is not. But the Chaos Knights are pulling up, and they're wondering, whoa. Are they really inside that thing? Like, that's a big old boy. That's a thicky boy right there. Are they really inside it? And we see that one was like, yeah, they're there. Trust me, I know. And I do like that, the little detail that they don't know because they've never encountered the 4 Knights in their group. But Mortlock knows because he pulled up on the 4 Knights, what? In chapter, like, 20-something? Over 2 years ago now? So, like, I like that little detail that Mortlock knows their energy signatures, but no one else does. And we see that Talmatul was like, hey, bro, let me level with you real quick. You better be careful. And we see that Morlock's like, What do you mean, man? And we see the saintly coat of Tamatul get immediately torn down and nearly torn apart by the domain expansion. Ryoki Tenka. No, like by the domain expansion of the Behemoth, to the point where the miasma is just tearing through the saintly coat. And we see that Tamatul straight admits, like, hey, yo, this is more negative force than I predicted. It broke through my defenses in mere seconds. And we see one of the idiot knights asking, that's bad, isn't it? Yes, it is bad when your defenses get immediately broken through. However, with that being the case, we see the next question is, what are we going to do now? Obviously, this isn't going to work. And they see that the miasma keeps its distance from the Albion. Once again, likely due to a subconscious understanding of Percy as the manifestation of death, or a piece of the Great One. But with that being the case, we see that they assume, since they don't know Percy or really have any understanding of the culture of the demon world, they assume that it's the Albion that's programmed to keep those things away. When in reality, it's very likely just Percy's presence. That's what's cleansing everything that is the Albion walks through, which is super duper interesting. However, with that being the case, we do get to see that the mission is clear. We're here to destroy the door, block their invasion, and wipe out Percival of the Four Knights, because they still think Percival's the weakest. Where Gawain is, not a clue. Hopefully she wakes up soon. However, we do get to see Rosebank has her little hesitations, because he's like, oh no, I have to take down my man? I can't take down my man. And we do get to see that the moment they reach the site of the Behemoth, their mission will begin there. So essentially, they're waiting to catch the Krulak, and they aren't going to engage them on their own turf within the Albion. They're going to make the Albion think everything is all nice and normal as they sit on top, and the moment they get to the Behemoth door, they will strike. Pretty solid plan, if you ask me. So, overall, it is a W chapter. Don't get me wrong. It is very much a W chapter. But it has implications that are like beyond the scope of it, so I'm not going to dock points off the chapter for that. But it feels like there's a whole lot of wasted potential or missed opportunities or a whole bunch of stuff, from Zeldris to Gelda to Tristan to Percival to like, it feels like there's a lot of contrived writing here for the sake of keeping characters where they're at. And I'm not entirely sure I rock with that. That's my one big issue with the chapter. However, that's what I think. Please what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as little as $1 $1 a month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You can also now become a member of the channel for as little as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the live reaction to this very chapter. Now, thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a very big thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays and Red Wolf 4765. I'd like to give another very big thank you to our $5 patrons, Alex Ice Rose, Art Goon, DemXLND, Midnight Gemlord, Red Wolf 4765, and Sean. I'd like to give another very big thank you to our $10 patrons, Demokami, Joaquin, and Robbie Uchiha. I'd like to give another gargantuan thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose.